Pick Gojo. Just get Gojo. Yeah. And that is it for today's video. Okay, let's just discuss about this a bit more, right? I already have done a tier list, a full Phantom Parade tier list, so I have talked about all of these characters more extensively there, and in case you haven't watched that yet, link will be in the description and the pinned comment. Now, since we did actually complete the goal for 10 million pre-registrations that Global set pre-release, we are going to guaranteed now get an SSR Redrawable Ticket. That means we get a guaranteed SSR character of our choice, because if we don't get who we like, we can keep drawing and drawing and drawing until we do and get the SSR we want to start our account with. The SSR characters available in said ticket are all of the ones you can see on your screen right now. So SSR Yuji, Megumi, Kugisaki, Todo, Maki, Inumaki, Panda, Gojo and Nanami. All of the SSR characters that will be available with the release of the game, and all of these SSR characters are also pullable from the early gacha we have on the official Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade website. Now let's talk about the SSR characters right here. We can see in this tier list all of the available characters, and we are going to place them in one of these three tiers: the best options, the good options, and the ones I would not really recommend. Of course, let me also mention, since this is a game at the end of the day, if you want to go for your favorite character, feel free to do that, but for this video we are going to discuss about who is going to help your account more based on power and meta strength. And since the Japanese version of the game is almost a year ahead of the global version, we can also discuss about longevity with all of these characters. Straight off the bat, as I said at the start of the video, let's just do the obvious. Gojo is the best option, because he's the strongest DPS in the game, very good amounts of damage, strong character even with his limitation of being available to the team for only 7 turns, and he also is the most future-proof character out of all of these SSR units. I have already made a specific video for Gojo discussing on if he is perhaps overrated for the global release or not, where I go way more in depth on the character, but the gist of it is that he is actually your best option, and I am sure you have seen other people's opinions be the exact same. Now for the rest of the SSR characters, I would say that your second best option is probably Kugisaki, but I won't place her alongside Gojo. I believe she falls off faster than Gojo does, but on release she is one of the best DPS characters in the game easily. She also has a very good character design in my opinion with how her abilities work in game, and I will definitely place her as number 1 in the good options tier. And we also might as well do this right here because Gojo will be sitting alone at the top. And then after that I will place the combo of Yuji and Todo. And this is pretty important to note. Yuji is a very straightforward beginner-friendly DPS character. He's very good at the start as well, but combined with Todo, he becomes even better. Todo is a DPS / damage boosting unit, works exceptionally well with Yuji and Taijutsu damage dealers. So Maki as well, but Maki is not that great. And if, for example, you were lucky enough to get one of them as your SSR character from the early gacha system on the website, then getting the other one from the redrawable ticket is not the worst decision, even though getting Gojo, in my opinion, is probably overall still better for your account. Disclaimer though, they are both a good option if you have already pulled the other one from the early gacha pulls. If you haven't, Yuji is still a good option, a beginner-friendly DPS, even though they are two better options, in my opinion, but he's still fine to get if you really love the character. Todo, if you don't have Yuji, isn't the best of options. Without getting lucky and getting Yuji from the early gacha, I would not recommend Todo, so we are going to place him a tier below. Something to have in mind for Yuji as well, if you don't have Todo from the early gacha that is and you decide to go for this character from the redrawable ticket alone. He is a beginner-friendly, straightforward damage-dealing character that can help you a lot to start your account, but compared to Kugisaki and Gojo, that are above him for a reason, Yuji will feel the power creep of the game in later stages faster than the other two. So even though he can help your account a lot early on and he is a good option at the end of the day, there is a reason he is third behind the other two main DPS characters. So if you only want to go for power, you can even place Yuji in the would not recommend tier because you are looking at two better options over him. I won't do that though because I definitely believe they are worse options. Megumi is a prime example because he's a very niche character focused around break damage, which is not that good in Phantom Parade as of now, so I would definitely not recommend getting him. I would definitely not recommend Maki either, she's just a worse version of Yuji. She can deal damage to all enemies with her skill, but she's not that great of a DPS. Then Inumaki I would not really recommend either. While he's definitely better than some of the other units here, he just falls under the category of there are just better options. He is for sure usable with a very good passive, but I also think that his rare version will most likely be of higher value for the early stages of the game if you combine it with a better SSR DPS. Panda I would definitely not recommend. This character is like fine if you do manage to get it from early gacha or other pools, but I wouldn't specifically target to get this character from the redrawable ticket. And finally, Nanami I would also not personally recommend for a couple of reasons. First up, I do not like the fact that you have to wait until turn 9 to get access to the maximum possible damage he can actually do. And the second thing is that he doesn't have as good of a way to boost his own kit and damage as the 3 DPS characters above him do. And even though with all of them you need to use other supports as well, I think Nanami will rely on them more than the other characters. A good thing about him is that he can actually do mixed damage, Jujutsu and Taijutsu, and with his ultimate he can do damage to all enemies, which is for sure good, and he might at the end of the day be situationally better than the characters above him in specific pieces of content where you know you need to take more turns in order to clear, but I would still not recommend to specifically target him with your redrawable ticket. All in all, as you can understand, you should go for an SSR DPS with this ticket. If you don't specifically want Gojo for whatever reason, one of the other two options can still be good. We don't really have clear-cut supports that are SSR rarity at the start of the game that can have a lasting impact on your account, because even though alongside damage some of their kits do present supporting qualities, they are not just an 100% support like some of the SR characters are, for example. Have you decided who are you going to get from the redrawable SSR ticket? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're in the mood for more JJK Phantom Parade content, you can check the videos on screen right now. And as always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.